today's stream for this weekly candle close. Can I get an audio check on the YouTube, please? Awesome, awesome. All right. As you know, it is St. Patrick's Day. I'm sure I'm losing out on a lot of views to people at the bar and whatnot, but you know what? Today today is a cheat day, and I will be participating in St. Patrick's Day. Yes, sir. All right. As soon as I get somebody to confirm that the audio is good to go, we will get started. I don't want to start the TA without having at least that. You know what I mean? Nobody? I guess we'll just have to assume that it's good. I haven't changed any settings from the last couple weeks, but I don't know. Sometimes this stuff is finicky. I just want to make sure the audio is good. If we could get an audio check, that would be awesome. Who knows? Maybe I've just been quiet the whole time and nobody can hear me. See, I don't even know. Don't even know. All right, well, I guess since nobody wants to do an audio check, I guess we'll just start going into it and hopefully it's good to go. But yeah, we're looking at this weekly candle close in about an hour and a half here on the crypto market. As you can tell, we've been in this channel. This is a logarithmic scale channel from 2017. And we are at the heart line once again. These last few months, you know, we went and tested it, and now we're getting follow through to the downside. Our RSI is still not in the oversold territory yet. Our HSI is, however, in the oversold territory. The framework would tell us that we still need a couple weeks to turn this thing around, you know, maybe get some sort of double bottom, maybe on like the 4 hour, the 8 hour, something like that. You know, the weekly is starting to look like we're catching a little bit of bids here, but again, you know, you're looking at that, we're still looking at that 73 to 76K area as a reversal. The 3-day crab harmonic, we did get our target one. That was fantastic. We wicked to it exactly. You know, here's to show it up on stream a little bit better. There's that T1 line of $76,517, and we got there, we touched it, but we haven't gotten an oversold signal yet for the 3-day. We do have an RSI double bottom, and we do have an HSI double bottom with some divergence. Normally you want to see this divergence on more than one indicator, so yes, it's something right now, but it's not quite enough to be super convincing. Kind of what I'm thinking here is we either go back to that 73 to 76K range to test that, or we end up rallying up to that 91 to 93K range where that Wyckoff zone was to actually close a candle to bearishly backtest this zone right here. And by that zone, I mean that Wyckoff zone that we were talking about these last few streams here. So we've been talking about it since up here. We're getting our distribution now. Yes, we did put in some divergence on the daily, but yet on our local time frames, we can't make a higher high to save our lives. Just taking the data as it comes. You know, could we do a nice double bottom at 76K or even at 78K? Sure, we absolutely could. But at this point, guys, I'm really holding out for that 76K test again, or bring it all the way back down to 66K. That target 2 on the crab, 66K. Let's take a peek at the weekly one more time here. That's monthly. The weekly is right here. Yeah, so sorry, I just got a text that kind of threw me for a loop there. But yeah, anyway, let's go ahead and get some requests in the chat here. We'll start filtering through those. Audio is okay. Maybe you just need a pro mic. Yeah, that's for sure. I'm using a webcam mic right now. I'm thinking about getting a mixer, and I have been in the market for a mic, but I'm not sure which one to get. You know, part of the reason is because my house is loud all the time because I have kids and they're always running around doing a bunch of crazy shit, and it sounds like the house is falling apart half the time I'm trying to stream. So I don't know which mic to get because I don't want it to pick up all that noise. Like right now I have a whole bunch of filters running to try to keep this webcam microphone clean, and hopefully it's clean enough. But yeah, so you know, BTC weekly, you can just kind of see that we're still hovering in this range. You know, this 76K line here where that 3-day crab target is, it's not really at anywhere. You know what I mean? It's not at a previous high or anything like that. And then the T2, what we're really looking for, that 66K, that lines up really well with previous support resistance. You know, that 64 to 68K area looks really good for a retest. Now, our saving grace here is if we can somehow double bottom at 76K. You know, give me more volume, give me some HSI and RSI divergence, give me something. As of right now, even if we do dead cat, I don't see us going past 91K right now. We need some more strength. You know, give it another week or whatever, and we'll check back with it again. But like I've been saying, locally we're just making lower highs and lower highs and lower highs. And then one can argue lower low too. I mean, yeah, it's got divergence on the daily, but it's still a lower high. We could put in 2 or 3 more of those and just keep creating triple, quadruple divergence. It sounds dumb, right? But then, you know, let's look at the daily on, or no, the weekly on SPY, was it? Like the weekly on SPY, it made 5, 6 higher highs, and then both indicators kept making lower highs over and over and over and over again. And this is on the weekly. This happened for 2 years straight, 2 years of divergence. Yeah, so it can happen. You know, we could still keep trickling down, making divergence all the way down to 73, 76K or 66K or any of that. Right now, I know there's not a lot of data I can give you in comparison to last week, because last week we were pretty much the same price when I was streaming. You know, last week we were right there. I was streaming right there, and look at that, we're at the exact same price. So there's really not a ton I can do with that right now, other than tell you that we're testing this bearish HSI dot, and our RSI and HSI is now below the 50. So this thing's kind of looking like it either wants 81K or 79K right now. We're just going to kind of be looking for that the next couple days. Hopefully we get a strong bounce with a lot of volume that comes in, and then boom, we're off to that 91K range again. We'll take a look at ETH on the weekly. ETH on the weekly, we finally touched that frickin' 236 fib at 1700. Can't make that shit up. There it is. I don't know how long it's been there. I can answer that. Since November 2021, this fib line has been there. So almost 5 years. You know what's really scary that nobody wants to really talk about is if for some reason we do fail this fib, your next macro fib is yet another 44% down at $1,000. And in the macro scheme of things, right, it wouldn't look that bad. You know, you can tell that you already failed this angular here, right? So you dropped through it, tested it, and then you partial declined, and now you're running downwards. And your Pi Phi band is already at $1,400. The weekly needs more time on ETH for sure, but you know, looking at the 4 hour, it might be trying to start to turn around here this next week or two is going to be really important for low time frame price action. You got the deep crab with another crab overlapping patterns, but then you have the bearish HSI dot, like the pattern wants to fail. You know, we might end up going to the hop here at 1,600 bucks. Don't forget about your Pi Phi band at $1,700. So right now, as far as this week goes, this area right here, 1,700 to 1,780 is going to be our zone that we're looking at for ETH for this next week. I still haven't bought super heavy into ETH yet. I'm looking to do so soon. Let's see. Total? We'll look at total. Total on the weekly. See, this is kind of what you want to see for Bitcoin, right? To come down and retest these highs. Is it enough to see it on total? I guess we're going to find out. We're going to have to find out if BTC wants to just pivot in the middle of nowhere in comparison to total. But you can't deny that we are at a very key level here on total. I'll make this line pink and fat so you can see it. But you know, you got your 2021 peak, you got your 2021 peak again, you got your 2024 peak twice, and then we finally break through it and back test it. Now, your RSI and HSI are still very low and pointing downwards, so the framework would tell us we need a week or two yet to turn this thing around. The daily, however, we're looking very close. Technically, with the framework, you're looking for this candle retest right here. I'll draw a green line for you right there at 2.52T. We're going to be retesting this bullish HSI dot, and while we do that, we don't want to take out this wick, and we want to keep our HSI and our RSI above 50 to imply continuation. If not, you know, then we send it to the hop. We send it to 2.1T where this previous support was, where the Gartley target 1 is, you know, all that stuff. We have to hold this level. If we don't hold 2.4, 2.5T, you're looking at another 15% down to 2.1. I can assist you with microphone suggestions, DJ says. Hell yes, I would like some suggestions. Smash that like button. Fucking Smash it like a prom date. All right, and St. Patty's nip to that. Yes, sir. All right. So what do we got for suggestions here? What do you guys want me to look at? I head to the S&P one more time. Not that. What is going on here? Where'd it go? Can't take me anywhere. Take one sip and I can't do anything. But yeah, here's the daily. You know, the last week is really interesting, right? Because it looks like we were breaking down on that Pi 5 band and we were going to head towards lower levels, but we have this bullish HSI dot and we have divergence on the HSI and we have a W bottom here on the RSI. All in this little range right here. That W bottom happened right there. So let me explain that a little bit more. So here's your amplified RSI. You know, one can tell that this is a low and then this is another low, right? And it's obviously a higher low. So that is all happening within this range right here. So it's hard to tell, right? From the naked eye. Well, I guess not, right? Because I'm explaining it with my eyes, right? But I don't know, you guys get it. You have divergence on the daily on the S&P. You know, we might get 3 or 4 sets of it before it actually turns up. But as we know, the S&P and stocks and tech usually front runs the crypto runs. So we're going to be keeping an eye on that for next week. I am excited to see what the S&P does on Monday. And yeah, on short times, ETH, do you see us going up before another letdown? Well, let's take a look at ETH again. Here's my daily chart. You know, got that box drawn in there from before. As you know, it's sitting right at the hop right now. The only issue I have is I do think it's going to go down a little bit more before it goes up. You know, it doesn't have to, right? But the RSI is currently pointing downwards. I would want to see, you know, this RSI trend line kind of get hit right here. You know, boom, right there. You know, give me like 28 to 30 on your RSI, you know, for a touch in that 4-hour zone that we were just talking about. This one here. So the daily kind of coincides with the zone that we were just drawing here. So like I said, I haven't bought in super heavy on ETH yet, but you know, that being said, ETH under 2 grand in the long run, you know, it's a good play. You know, if you don't want to hound the charts, this is a good spot, in my opinion, to start dollar cost averaging. Keep in mind, ETH might go down another $1,000 from here, right? It sounds crazy, right? But just bear with me. If BTC goes to 66K, do you really think ETH is going to hold? I'll give you a second to think about that. The answer is no, by the way. I gave you a second. Yeah, let's look at total 3 altcoins on the weekly, shall we? So this one's interesting too, right? You got another really key area back test. Now, the interesting thing is the last weekly candle, we closed below this peak. Now this weekly candle, if we can close it here in an hour and 9 minutes, buyers will be reclaiming that peak, and false bearish breakdowns have usually the biggest consequences. Also, false bullish breakups have the biggest consequences. Bear traps, bull traps. You know what it is. You know the deal. You've seen it 1,000 times. This is starting to look like a bear trap for altcoins. Look at that. You have a very decisive breakdown candle. And then what are buyers doing? They're trying to take it back. Think about it like this. You're playing a game of football. You freaking pass the ball to the sellers. They're running it play after play after play. And now it's like freaking 4th and 25, and they're still at the 50-yard line. Like, that's how bad they're doing right now. If I could put it in a sports analogy, that would be it. Sellers suck right now. They could grind a little bit farther, but buyers are just not allowing this breakdown like everybody wants. Too many people are buying for it. I know sentiment's crap right now, but it's just, that's what it is. Polka dot. On the weekly, yeah, we got really close to that red line we were talking about. We did break this white line that I originally thought was going to be the bottom for this area, but you know, it is what it is. I'm okay with holding DOT at a little over $4. You know, if I can get it closer to 3, that would be great. 2 weeks ago, we got our bullish HSI arrow. This week, we're getting our first green candle. That being said, we only need one more green candle, and then we get our weekly dot. We get our dot on dot. What I like is HSI is already making a higher low, and your RSI is pointing upwards right now. That action magnet move's not quite complete yet, so we might have a little bit more drawdown. 3 days looking good. You know, again, we want to see that HSI dot retest. We want to see the retest of this line. So this dot on this candle, it prints, and then the imaginary line that the software prints is at the base of this green candle right there. Right there. So in all technicality, we want to see the price hit that 380, 390 range one more time. If it doesn't, so be it. Here's your daily. You got the bat pattern. Still no dot yet. Still no bullish HSI arrow. Still no dot. You're kind of right now right up against this important level. It's literally like this. We either break out and we start heading to T1 at $6.70, or we do a double bottom here, maybe like an Adam and Eve type of thing, and then hit our T1. Obviously, I would like to see the second option. I'd like to see that. It's stronger, you know. Plus, the framework just isn't quite complete yet, so it's hard to go in right now without the framework. But it's looking good for a DCA, just like everything else. Anything else on the weekly, on the daily, weekly, 3-day, any of that garbage? Garbage. Where'd my music go? Where'd the music go? I blame DJ. Alrighty. A few things there. ETC. All right. Ethereum Classic. Definitely an interesting one. Definitely an interesting one. I'm gonna clean this up a little bit so we can talk about it better. Actually, let me just get rid of all of that. All right. So on the weekly here, you have your bat pattern, which is one of the original harmonics. Like it, Scott came up with this stuff back in the 90s, and what's really nice is it completed its T1 at $24. So you got the T1 dollar sign symbol right there. That's an indication that your T1 move completed. At that point, the textbook tells you you're waiting for the type 2 return. The type 2 return is the move that happens after you've hit T1 and you end up going back to the XA level, this terminal bar right here where this purple sun icon is. So this terminal bar, once you hit that, you get your T2 symbol. This is telling you that everything has been met in the framework for this thing to hit T2 from here, which is 30 bucks. Usually the type 2 reactions are much more aggressive than the type 1 reactions. For something like this, you could be aiming for a deep crab type situation where it ends up at the 1618. If we end up completing a pattern something like that, but ETC on the weekly looks very nice. 1 hour left until that officially confirms. You still want to see your bullish HSI arrow and your HSI dot. You still want to see those oversold confirmations. You still want to see your RSI and your HSI get back above 50, but the ground floor is looking good for the framework there. If we go to the daily, it kind of paints a better picture. Your RSI and your HSI are curling downwards and heading back down. It could very well head to the hop here at $12. It wouldn't surprise me at all if BTC decided to slip even just a little bit. I could see ETC at $12. Again, we haven't seen our oversold confirmation after the pattern's completed. So technically we're still waiting on that. I know there's not much conclusive that I've said so far. I know I've been saying we just got to keep waiting, but I would rather say that than everybody FOMO in right now and get wrecked and buy now. Take a nip for that. No, no FOMO. No FOMO. Because we like to buy at areas of value and we like to sell at areas where people are FOMOing. What we try to do here is sell to the people at the top so we can make some money. That's what trading is all about. Sorry, not sorry. Somebody's got to be the bag holder. Ain't gonna be me. It's gonna be you. Are you gonna be the bag holder? I'm not. All right, I need suggestions. Give me like 5, 10, 600 different coins to look at. All of them. I want all of them. I'm gonna look at BTC dominance real quick. I posted a short setup for BTC dominance and damn near got stopped out. We're still in it somehow, but not gonna lie, it's looking like we just might keep cranking through this thing. It's been nothing but higher lows, and even during this distribution that we've been seeing, we've been getting higher highs. It's interesting, right? It's right at the make or break point for BTC dominance to keep running. If we keep running to the 67% area, you're gonna see alts have a bad time. You're going to see a lot of those lower numbers. You're going to see ETH of 1,000 like we were talking about, all that stuff. However, if we go how my gut says we are, then it'll be good for alts. you know, BTC will keep creeping up and alts will absolutely rip. That's kind of what I'm thinking. If not, though, I mean, you guys know both sides. I try to play it where there's a solid bullish and bearish argument. We just got to take it one level at a time. You got to watch the price action at those levels. It's all speculation, one day at a time. Take a look at AMP. Ampity amp on the daily. It's looking pretty close to being ready. Weekly. Weekly. That is an interesting spot for AMP right there. You know, one can tell just off of a fresh chart here, this area right there, it's very important. You know, we skipped off of it in January of 2023. We back tested it in July of 23. Back tested again November of 23. Broke through it. Retested it. Retested it. Retested it. Retested it. Retested it. And now we're retesting it again. Here's what's cool though. What happened last time HSI and RSI got oversold on this thing was right here. You know, we had the arrow, we had the dot, we had our RSI and our HSI rising, and then we ended up seeing a 278% pump off of that move. That's kind of what we're looking for here now on the weekly too. Since our HSI is oversold and our RSI is getting to the point where the bad action magnet move is completed, we are looking for long entries in this this 3 to 3.7 zone. You know, obviously you're going to kind of want to go down to the 4 hour and, you know, try to play it from there. You have your overlapping patterns here. You got a bat, you got a shark, your harmonic optimal price. Your hop for the bat is down at 2.5. Your hop for the shark is at 3.6. Excuse me. All right. So we have still, before you can really pinpoint along, another 8% downside here. You know, let's get a double bottom on these wicks here or at this hop here. The 4 hour is so close to printing another bullish HSI arrow, which, as you know from there, you just need 2 green candles after that to get your dot. Just imagine, you know, imagine getting your dot right there at the Pi Phi band, at that wick retest, at the hop, after that shark. Oh my god, it would be so beautiful. It would be so beautiful. Just like, could you just do it for me? Let's see, right? Let's see what happens this week. AMP do be goofy. AMP is like, I'm gonna stay the same price for 3 weeks, and then I'm gonna go up 100%. Yeah. That's AMP though. AMP monthly, not really much to report there. Yeah. Yeah, honestly, we need to creep down just a little bit more on AMP. Give me that double bottom. Yeah. All right. Let's go on to how low could this puppy go till mid-April? You'll have to specify which one, because I don't know when you type that, to be honest. Crow. Let's set up Crow. Crow on the weekly. Inverse head and shoulders, when was that? Oh, way over there. Looks like I was looking at this thing a long time ago and something didn't play out. Either way, take a peek at the weekly here. I got 5 cents marked from I don't know when, but that'd be kind of crazy if it went there right now, right? This, wow, alright, so this, I haven't looked at Crow in a long time here, so you got that wick here. Obviously, it was a ceiling there. You have your wick test here. You have your tests here, and obviously, very obvious reaction there. And it kind of looks like the weekly is getting ready to do that same sort of thing. What's nice is, uh, so when I talk about these bad action magnet moves, this is the amplified RSI indicator. So you see how the bottom line here, it turns from green to blue. So it's blue over here. As soon as we come out of that zone, the RSI is looking to retest that zone. So the green line, it's presented as soon as the RSI is looking to retest the zone, and then we come back and we test it. Green line prints again. As soon as it retests and leaves again, that green line happens again. So that's the bad action magnet move that we're talking about. And usually it's from the C to D legs on these patterns, so just kind of trying to think of how that would look on the weekly. It might pick it up weird, something like this for the bat move. For the C to D leg, you'd be looking at a 618 minimum target of 17 cents. But we still have a lot of work to do before we can really determine that. We need to make our bullish HSI dot and our RSI dot. Let's go to the daily and take a peek at what we have here. We got back-to-back patterns here that have all been pretty well respected. If your last bat here, technically we would still be waiting for our bullish HSI arrow or dot. However, since your RSI and your HSI are both above 50, it would not be weird to see a T1 from here and come back down for the type 2 move. I know we were discussing earlier, but I'll do a quick recap on that. Usually these harmonic patterns, once they print, you're looking for a T1 move, and then you're looking for a type 2 return, and then a type 2 reaction. So this thing, if you didn't get the bottom this time, I would not fret, because we're probably going to get another shot at it if the framework plays out like it should. Let's see, ADA. ADA. We got the good old shark on the daily. We hit our type 1 reaction. RSI and HSI below 50 on the daily though, so we're probably looking for another 65 retest, if not a 50 cent retest. 50. Gotta get to 50. Weekly kind of looks a little scary right now for ADA, not gonna lie. You have a double top situation here. You have your bearish HSI dot there, your bearish HSI line just printed, and our HSI and RSI are below 50 with a lot of volume. Yikes. That's not what you want to see on an asset like ADA. Now, could we hold this area right here? Maybe. But right now, unfortunately, the weekly tells me, hey, we're probably going back to 39 or 31 cents, unfortunately. Just wild. You know, right about, I guess 40 cents. So your next point of control after 65 cents. Crazy. That's not what you'd like to see on ADA. But it's there, you know, you have very clear HSI and RSI divergence. You have very clear distribution with your volume. You have a very clear bearish engulfing candle right there. I don't know. RIP ADA. Maybe. Maybe not, right? ETC? I thought we already looked at ETC. Didn't we already look at ETC? Or no, that was for how much lower are we going to go on ETC. So like the lowest, in my opinion, like the floor is around $9. You know, does it have to go there? No. But again, we still haven't gotten our signals to go long yet on ETC for the weekly. You have another area right at 12. Yeah. If we don't hold $17, it would not be weird to go to $12. It would not be weird. Not quite enough data yet to show that we're going to hold 17. You know, the 4-hour here. Technically, this harmonic is kind of fizzling out. We never hit our T1 from here. Technically, this thing should have gone right to $21. You know, yeah, if we don't hold 16, 17 on ETC, then you're probably going to see $12. Yes, sir. Alright, who else has the suggestions? Let's go. What else we got? Man, this daylight savings time crap has me going through a loop. I'm so used to the weekly candle close and daily candle closes closing at 7 o'clock my time, and now they're closing back at 8 o'clock again. So now we won't even see the weekly close for another 47 minutes. What the fuck? What the fuck? Alright, yeah, we'll take a look at Matic. Not gonna lie, I actually bought some of this recently. I bought some for 19 cents. I was like, oh my god. Matic at 19 cents? Yes, please. I didn't even care. I bought it. But you know what? It might have not been a great decision. You know, you got your channel here. The red line's the heart line. You can see the respect. You know, maybe your last ditch effort line right about there at 29 cents. God. Sellers just, yuck, they're taking full control. Weekly does not look great. Daily doesn't even look that great. You're starting to get some divergence with your HSI and RSI, but your last oversold signal was 42% ago. That's not fantastic stuff. Yeah. We need to see this thing turn around pretty much now. It's not even anything on the 12-hour yet. That's not good for the 8-hour either. You got a deep crab printed here. You failed the bullish HSI dot and you failed the hop. Now you have an overbought arrow from this right here. This little consolidation thing. Your HSI got so overheated during this tiny little move that it created an overbought arrow. That's not what you want to see. It's just not. Here's your hopium for the hourly. You know, there's always that what if. Kind of looks Adam and Eve-ish, doesn't it? Maybe a little bit. Or is it just a bear flag? That already broke down. Oh god, like that's just so close, right? Is it a bear trap? Maybe. You would really want to see Polygon get above 21, 22 cents like now, so we can invalidate this. Yuck. Your Pi 5 band is already at 15 cents. Yeah. Like I said, I bought some at 19 cents. Was it the right move? Was it the wrong move? I don't know, but my gut was like, you should buy some here. So I did. Sometimes trading do be like that. You know, you read all the books, you get all the technical analysis, you do all the things, you play by all the rules, and then all of a sudden there's an opportunity that's staring you at the face like, wow, this thing's the lowest it's been since before I even started crypto. Should I buy some? If you went to the store and milk was fucking 25 cents a gallon, would you buy an extra gallon? Or like, if a dozen eggs was $1, would you buy an extra dozen? You know what I mean? It's that kind of thing. It's that same exact kind of principle. But yeah. Yep. Arweave. Take a look at Arweave on the good old KuCoin. Oh, we hit that line. I don't remember when we drew that, but we're there. We hit it on the daily. Next one though, oh my god, you know, if we fail this, you're still looking at another 36% downside. But this looks like a pretty good spot to strategize along. You know, you had your little dip below it. Buyers recaptured the area. You got double harmonics. You got HSI above 50. Your RSI is climbing. You know, there's some good stuff here. There's some good stuff here. You know, if you can manage to get it closer to that $5.60 range. Why to do that? I don't know why you'd want to put your stop loss that far down. You know, play this up to the, like, yeah, that last dot for the first target. And since there's like nothing there, you could do that for your next target. Yeah. Just kind of formulating here. Yeah, this bottom peak right here. Yeah, so honestly, if you can manage to get this on a double bottom, you know, at this $6 to $5.50 range. Big gap, right? Do it on spot, maybe 2x. Don't go 10x on this thing, because as soon as it goes down just a little bit, you're screwed. Like, just look at these targets. This last target is 285% upside on spot, and we're zoomed in. Like, we are zoomed in. You know, so pay attention there. You might be able to get it at 380 if BTC decides to fail. You know, you might get it at these hop levels even at 250 to 360. Could you imagine? Could you imagine getting it in that range where that Pi 5 band is? I don't know, pretty crazy. But right now, it seems to be reacting at the $6 range. Really, you'd like to see some more volume and a double bottom on that. But yeah, if you can get Arweave between 550 and $6 at this time during this week, I think that would be a good play. But then if it falls below like 510, you're probably heading back down to 380 or less. Hope that makes sense. What was the other one? Radium. Yeah, so Radium, you got the daily dot. Got the daily dot, Scott dot. Where's my music at? Okay, we're still playing music, I just can't hear it very well. Okay, perfect. So we had our bat pattern, obviously it fell way below the hop, right? But the framework would tell you not to take action until you got your HSI dot, which we never got it until way down here at $1.40. Our first few candles, the 3 to 5 candles we identify for the price reversal zone, the PRZ on this line here. You know, you had your back test, you engulfed, and then you had some follow through, and now you're back testing again. What's important here is to look at your indicators. Your HSI is above 50, but your RSI is not. So we still have some work to do on the daily on Radium. We want to see a $1.53 held. We do not want to see a daily candle close below this line. Taking a look at the weekly, let me zoom back out here. Yeah, your RSI and your HSI are cooked. And you know, one could argue we're pretty much at floor levels, right? You would want to see some kind of double bottom here, something. You know, it's really close on the 4 hour. Like, to be honest with you, I wouldn't feel bad about buying some Radium here at $1.54, but at the same time, you have room to go down. Like, this is a good spot to start picking it up. Your, what is that retrace there? From there to there. So yeah, we're almost 100% retrace. You know, if you can go to the store and get something for 95% off, and it's the same product that it was a few months ago, wouldn't you do it? Wouldn't you do it? It wouldn't be St. Patrick's Day if we didn't have a little bit of green, right? Green screen stream. Smoke them if you got them. Take a shot, light one up, punch the wall, something. Happy St. Patty's Day, everyone. Yes, sir. All right. I need some more requests. Let's get it rolling in the chat. I want to see those requests flooding through. Python. When are we gonna do Python? I didn't do Python yet. I think last week, yeah, it was last week. We were talking about this red line, like hopefully we double bottom at this line, but it sure looks like we didn't. Maybe it was 2 weeks ago. Must have been 2 weeks ago. Honestly, man, that weekly chart looking a little bit rough right now. You're putting in the all-time low weekly candle close, unless Binance doesn't have. Is there one with more history? Do you know of? Or is Pyth just new? I guess it's just new, but yeah, at this point you're waiting. You're still waiting. We haven't even gotten a green weekly candle yet since this HSI arrow. So technically you're looking at a minimum of 2 weeks, you know. Technically you're looking at 2 weeks before it turns around on the weekly. On the daily, you did get your HSI arrow back a few days ago, 5 days ago. Again, though, you want to see that retest of that candle body. Whenever those arrows print, you got to draw an imaginary line at the bottom of the candle body, not the wicks, the body. So we're looking for a retest of this line, and then we're looking for 2 green candles. So you're looking for 2 green candles below that line on the daily to get your dot. And then the dot forms that potential reversal zone that we talked about. Those green and blue lines that are green and red lines that are generated by the software, like here, here, and here. You get what I'm saying? So not quite time yet on Pyth for big irresponsible buys. Is it even irresponsible though? Like if you have everything on the framework and you chose to YOLO all your cash, is it actually irresponsible? I don't know, maybe. I was having some weird stoner thoughts this morning. Sometimes I like to post them in the Discord chat to see what people think, but this morning I had one. I was sitting on my deck and I was like, I wonder how far you would have to be from a nuclear explosion to perfectly cook your food. You know, there's got to be a zone. Obviously, too close, you burn your food. Too far away, it doesn't cook enough. Where's that happy medium where you could have a perfectly cooked pizza after a nuclear bomb? Maybe I smoke too much. I don't know. Anybody else got any requests or anything like that? Or questions just in general, like, you know, anything. Any questions about me, the channel, the Discord, anything about TA, anything about any of these assets? all that stuff. While we're waiting, I'll go over one that we've been looking at in the Discord. So if you're watching and you're not part of the Discord, please look in the description and join the Discord so you can be a part of this. We've been looking at LAI, layer AI, for quite a while now. We've been layering, no pun intended, layer AI, layering into this in the 2s and the 1s. And a lot of us in the Patreon section made some crazy profit off of this thing really fast. You know, from the bottom, you know, if you want to nitpick and cherry pick the measurements and stuff like that, but from the very bottom to the very top of this local pump, that was 476% on spot. I mean, you guys saw Elgaran, HBAR, XRP, whatever, do that in November, and you probably wish you were a part of it. This is what happens when you join communities that all they do is talk about this kind of stuff. You can get along on these rides as well. Like, I'm not saying we're all-knowing savants, but with enough eyes on enough assets, with enough practice, with enough knowledge, odds are you're going to find something good one of these times, right? One, Harmony 1, let's go. Whoa. I don't know what happened there. Computer's freaking out. Alright. Harmony 1, daily. Yeah. Okay, so we're right at this really key level. I don't know how long it's been mapped, but from the beginning of time on the Binance chart, from June of 2019, that's where this line is magneted to, and for the last 6 years, it's respected the hell out of it. And this, you know, it's been a really solid area. So one could not be surprised if this is it. You know, you got your bullish HSI arrow, as we talked about. You need a little bit of a retest here. Anything below 1 cent on one is like whale territory. It's kind of looking like. If we end up failing that area right here at, you know, 0.94 cents, I'll make it red. So we'll come back next week and see how well we handled this area. But I like to see that, you know, you got some sort of like double bottom or some sort of test here. You know, you get your dot, and by dot I mean, like, you know, give it to me right there, somewhere in this area. Give me my dot. I'll leave it there, and then remind me again next week to look at 1, and we'll see where we're at. I would not feel bad about buying a little bit here. This is, you know, you completed a very big year-long bat pattern, and your indicators locally are trending up. So this, as long as BTC doesn't shit the bed, this is going to go places. You got back-to-back bat patterns. Let's take a look at the weekly. You know, obviously the weekly, again, we're at that super important area. 3 weeks ago, we printed our HSI arrow. Our RSI isn't flatlined, which is good. That means we're probably not going too far lower. And just look at the upside on this thing too. Like, if you can manage to strategize your entry, and play around with this a minute, you know, let me cook for a second. But let's say you can get it closer down to these wicks here, and you put your stop below there, so you're risking 9% for a 68% first target. Dash that real quick. But then your other targets, you know, one can very easily strategize some really good risk to reward here, right? And those are just like minimal targets too. Like we've seen this asset do that many times before. You know, leave a runner maybe for that that crazy 20 cent, that 32 cent area, but if you were to play this trade, you would come out a lot richer. What is that to the high right now? 3,200%. You know, no big deal. No big deal. 5 main alt bags. Um, I would have to look, to be honest with you, but I'm pretty heavily allocated into about 52, yeah, 52 assets right now, crypto assets. I don't want to go over all of them, but I'm in a lot. You can see the ones that I majorly buy into on the Patreon section. I don't want to go through 4 months of posts. Yeah. Plus my holdings change a lot because I take profit and I trade frequently. The name of the game for me is like, yeah, it'd be really cool to buy the very bottom of a cycle and then sell the very top of a cycle, right? But also at the same time, you know, if one of my 3x, 5x trades are up 200%, you bet your ass I'm going to be taking profit. And I'll buy back in lower. They may not be the bottom again, but I would much rather take my profits and buy in lower and just keep rinsing and repeating that cycle and actually making money. I do not like roller coaster trips. I like just getting in when it's time and then taking my profits when it's time. Yeah, hang out in the Discord more, you'll see what I mean. Jeremy Jordan, Double J Patriotic Design says, howdy, y'all. Well, howdy, Mr. Jeremy Jordan, Double J Patriotic Design. Kevin Payano wants to look at SPY. I spy with my little eye a rug pull. Wait, what? Okay. So the weekly, we had our bearish HSI dot, we had our tests, and our indicators eventually worked their way below the 50 levels, and then we broke down. That's exactly how it's supposed to happen. You know, you look at